And we're back. Welcome back, my friends. I don't know why the colors were so weird. My capture device does that sometimes, where it I mean, especially you've seen the struggles that I've had with Atari games. Although I figured out how to fix that the last time we played Atari. Last time we played the 2600, I figured out how to make it capture better. And just I just all I need to do is turn the TV off and back on. And for some reason that works to reset the capture so that it can see the Atari 2600 properly. It still doesn't capture great because RF signals just never do, it seems, but it's a lot better. It's watchable, whereas it used to not be watchable at all. But sometimes even this is not an RF signal, but it as you saw, the colors are like really like over bright. That happened to Jelly once when she played the Little Mermaid, her Little Mermaid videos. The two that she's published, they have a weird look to them that looks like an old sort of like an old DOS video game or something because the colors are all wrong. I don't know how it happened, but anyway. So the point of this, we're back to Super C, back to the grind. We're trying a low percent run. That means no items, and I want to do it in one life, so no deaths. Obviously, I guess. But oh, I've been really close a few times. Maybe tonight will be the night. So let's see. First run of the night, we're going to warm up. So I'm going to hit reset if I die on the first level. But if I make it past the first level, we're just going to do a run through the game. Have all the get all the levels fresh in our memory. And then we'll really start the attempts after that. So here we go. Oh, wait. Watch the first vid. Didn't realize it looked odd. I guess you gotta just trust what you're seeing, because I haven't seen the normal version of it. Yeah, if you there are a couple places where she compares her footage to a screenshot of what it should look like, but yeah, for the most part, it probably doesn't look too weird if you don't know. I mean, but I don't know. It was one of our sort of early experiments with the capture card, so we didn't really know what we were doing. She also recorded another game. She played Adventure Island and recorded footage for that, but in keeping with, we didn't know what we were doing, there's no audio. So the footage is useless. It has the game audio, but none of her audio. But she'll probably do that. She'll probably play that game again for another video, but it's just a matter of waiting until she forgets it so that it can be a sort of fresh experience. As fresh as it can be. Welcome to the stream, literally. Very nice of you to join us, and thank you for the follow. I really appreciate having you on board with us. Now that I've won Monster Hunter, essentially, I'm punishing myself by replaying the hardest quests. I can't imagine what that could possibly be like, Pookie. Why would you want to punish yourself with a video game? Oh, that bullet made me a little scared. I thought I was gonna lose a life right away on stage 2 here. I still might. Nice. There's some glitches creeping in. We might get a crash here soon. I thought the spider was gonna crunch me. It felt like everything was, felt like it was all over. That was close. Oh no, it was close again. Quit spawning guys immediately in front of me, game. I feel like all my encounters with this boss lately have been really sloppy. I've just been doing a real bad job fighting this boss for some reason. Sorry for kind of the visual scrambling we've got going on, my friends, but from day one, the policy on the stream has always been to play through glitches as long as the game remains playable, and sometimes that means it becomes very ugly and very difficult to look at, I know. But also, it's just, you know, we don't want to miss out on an opportunity to maybe see something really interesting happen, so when the glitches roll in, we just try and wade through them. And sometimes the game clears back up and everything goes fine, and sometimes it doesn't. My very first stream, I played Ghosts and Goblins, and the game glitched horribly. I was a few levels deep into the game, and the screen started to be filled with these, like, long streaks of glitch, and I just didn't know what to do. I was like, oh, this is a terrible omen for my first stream. I didn't want to restart the game and have to reclaim the progress because I was moving along pretty well, and so I just played through them, and it did eventually clear up. It's weird how that happens. This level is so very hard. I have a tough time with the boss on this level too, and I really shouldn't. The boss has like a reliable pattern and should be manageable, but I don't know, it gives me a lot of trouble. With no items, it gives me a lot of trouble. You have to fire so many shots at him. I think that's it. He just wears me down. This part, these bubbles almost always get me. No, instead a guy got me. One death. It's okay, it's the warm-up run anyway, right? He lied as if he didn't, pretending as if he didn't care. In reality, I care a great deal. No! Now that's a real shame. I feel terrible about that. 2 deaths. Among our 1-credit clears that we've managed of this, the endless 1-credit clears that I've accomplished in this, At least one of them has been a true one credit clear. Well, I mean, several of them have, because like I said, there's one... I've had a lot of one death runs, but... A lot of those one credit clears have been ones that did not rely on extra lives, even. So you'd think I'd be able to pull this run off, but... I'm just not that good. I'm punishing myself by just replaying the hardest quest. I'm following what you've taught me, Mr. Frown. I didn't see that part, Pookie. I didn't read the whole comment before. Well, I'm glad that I could make an impact. Oh, Budafingers is here. And a resub. Thank you so much, Budafingers. Much appreciated. Thank you for the support, my friend. How do you stop Frownie from finishing a challenge run? Oh, no. Use contraception? Oh. I didn't know that I wanted to finish reading that one. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Budafingers. This is going real slow and real bad. 3 deaths. Did that joke come to you because this was your 9-month resub? Is that what inspired that joke? 9 months? Resub box made me look for a joke, but clearly it wasn't born healthy. I should start playing like the pros. I should learn how to press the buttons on the controller with my fingers instead of my thumb. Derek's made it home and is now relaxing. Glad to hear that you have accomplished your journey home safely. I was been asked a couple times about, like, you know, what Contra game I'm gonna do next when when I'm 400 years old and I've finally achieved this. I've finally achieved all of these runs that I'm working toward, and generally, like, I think I'd like to do the 2 Game Boy games, and then I'd like to do the 16-bit games, and try to do some probably try and do some challenge runs in the 16-bit games. But it occurs to me now that I have to play the arcade ports, or the arcade versions. I guess they're not really ports. This is a port, right? I need to play the arcade versions of Contra and Super C as well, so... It may take slightly longer to get to the 16-bit games than I expect. Though I really do want to get to those because I hear so many good things about them. But I don't think I'm going to do... I don't think I'm going to do challenge runs through the arcade versions or the Game Boy games. So, while it sounds like there's a lot of work between here and there, I don't think it's going to take as long as it might seem. Unless they turn out to be, really amazing, then I may have to commit myself to some challenge runs, but I have a feeling that they're going to feel kind of lesser. And then if I do challenge runs through those, it'll probably be like way down the line when I've already exhausted all the other Contra games. I'm like, well... all the ones I really enjoy, I'm done with, so... Oop. Is Frownie getting a mister? I might at some point, but no, I have the arcade games were ported to the Switch. They're part of the Contra collection. Sparrow's been working to talk me into to getting a mister. He's the devil on my shoulder, always whispering temptations to get into emulation. Tried a new pizza place tonight, but the pizza's actually not good. So I'm stuck with 6 slices of something I don't want to eat. Oh, man. Is it unsalvageable? Is there any way you could, like... I don't know, is there any way you could doctor it to make it more palatable? Maybe add some extra cheese and bread it and deep fry it? something wild. I lost count of how many deaths we had. I think I didn't die. I don't think I've died since level 5, but I'm not sure. Might have died on level 6. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell when you have no power-ups anyway. Hey, Strength for Life. Thank you for... no. Thank you for hosting the stream. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. Thank you. And welcome in, and welcome to your friends. No saving this pizza. It was a specialty pizza. Mac and cheese. Sounded interesting. I think it could be. Not for the taste of the craft singles and cafeteria level mac and cheese. Craft singles. I'm not terribly against craft singles. In the right time and place. I think a pizza is not the right time and place for them. Yeah, I want to put out a shout-out link there for Strength for Life. So that those inclined can drop our friend a follow. I need to do the same thing, you see. That's what I'm doing now, so... Be like Frownie, and... take a moment to use that right there. An avid fitness retro game collector. We play most of our retro games for the first time. And watch me as I dig deep, eat burritos, lift, and find the strength to crush these games. That's beautiful. Let me rewind a little bit. I've missed a lot of the chat here. Since this channel has under and overtones of jank, the chat box just kind of does what it wants. It makes it hard to read chat that I missed. Just imagine all the janktacular ROM hacks that await you, Frownie. So on that, the thing about that is, so my Wii is hacked. It's got like the homebrew channel and some emulators on it, specifically for the purpose of playing ROM hacks and stuff like that. But I've never. I guess the Wii is not very good for emulation because I've never had a lot of success running them. Basically, every time I've tried to play something like a ROM hack on it, it ends up locking up at some point. They don't perform well. But you see, like if I was gonna play ROM hacks of retro games like this, I would want the thing about the Wii is I'd want to do it on something that has a composite out so I can still play them on my CRT. I don't want an emulation box that outputs through HDMI. uh, all right, and let me see. So I miss. Talked about how the Scooby Doo game caught my interest. I want to get the game. Oh, nice. Yeah, we finished. That we finished that one. It's kind of short. That game. Um, it's not the worst. It's not the worst game. Like as a sort of an entry level adventure game, it's okay. The problem is with the platforming and the combat and the damage that you take from the enemies. They make it really really difficult. So it's kind of an unfortunate game because like the people it'd be really good on the one hand for people who are not super familiar with adventure games because it's kind of a straightforward basic adventure game, so it'd be good to cut your teeth on if you haven't played a lot of those. But on the other hand, like I feel like if you need a beginner's level adventure game, you need something that is not so punishing with its awful platforming and combat. So I don't know. It's really weird. The Genesis version, I don't know. The Genesis version might actually be better. I haven't seen anything from it, but I've heard that it has less of the platforming type elements to it. That it's and that might actually be a big improvement. Um, there's talk of pizza. I might have to see if I can find some secret wall pizza. Pookie says. William, welcome to the stream. Pleasure to have you with us. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that, my friend. Very kind of you. Mac and cheese isn't supposed to taste like American cheese, in my opinion, Buddhafinger says. Mac and cheese is something I can't really speak. I don't have an opinion on because I don't eat mac and cheese because I don't combine dairy and pasta. Someone ROM hacked your pizza sounds delicious. Send this pizza to my address, Pookie says. I did succeed at most of my recent self-punishment. At this time of the night, when you play harder stuff, it's mostly Japanese players bonking monsters with me. There's a lot of chat that I missed there. If you said something and I missed it, I apologize. I'm trying to keep up, but you know, Contra doesn't like you to take your eyes off the screen. Strength for Life says I was fitness, then the tacos caught me. That sounds like a story I can relate to. I caught the Chrysalis VOD, saw someone told you about the rabbit boots. That's what I wanted to tell you. You can't magic an item at the same time. No one told me about that, Buddha Fingers. I figured that out by messing around. if someone said something about it in the chat, I didn't read it. I didn't see it, but I just figured that out by messing around. Didn't know it was on Genesis. Yeah, so that Scooby-Doo mystery game is on the SNES and the Genesis. I've heard that the Genesis is more of a traditional. I thought it was more of a tradition. I heard it's more of a traditional action game, and that the SNES had platforming elements added to it. It sounded like the platforming elements are not there in the Genesis version, but I don't know. We've been sitting on this. This is a beautiful screen, the sunset. But we've been sitting on it for a while. Let me hit reset. Skipped around and thought chat was the cause. No, that one didn't get spoiled for me. That one didn't get spoiled for me, and I'm happy it didn't. I thought that after that happened though, I thought about you asking if you could tell me something about the menu. I did think about you and thought that was probably what you wanted to tell me. But no, I was just struggling, and then it sort of came to me. Did stop and read the manual. I think you need no hints other than the manual. All right. If I start getting stuck, if I start getting really stuck again, I'll definitely check out the manual. But I've been moving along. I've been moving along fairly nicely, so I might not need it. Taking a page out of Frownie's book and punishing myself with the hardest question, Monster Hunter. Other than that, I'm good. Hopefully people within my house head to bed soon, so I can possibly make some food. All right, so what we're doing here, sorry, Super C asked me how this game is treating me. I love Super C. It's a lot of fun. I like Super C better than Contra, and but my love for these games is really new. I played Contra for the first time in August of last year, I think, and I just fell in love with it. It was wonderful. I'd never played Contra until last year, and now I've played it 100,000 times in the 1 year. Super C I like even better than Contra, and what we're doing are challenge runs through the game. The idea is I want to play through. I basically want to try and play through the whole series. I want to try and play through the whole series, but I'm doing it really slowly, where I'm only playing a couple games at a time, and I'm doing a lot of challenge runs in them before I move on to any of the other games. So with the original Contra, I've done it deathless 3 times. I did an any % run, just playing it, however. I did a low % run, playing it with no items, and I did a 100% run, collecting every item mandatory. Those are the three challenges, and I'm trying to do the same thing for Super C. I've done the any % deathless. I've come so unbelievably close to the no items deathless. That's what I'm working on right now. I just haven't been able to bring a run home. I've made it to the last level on One Life and lost it all. So that's what we're doing. So there's a lot of resetting going on. There's a lot of struggling. And I apologize, for the sort of the repetitive nature that is the grind, but one day we'll pull this challenge off and it'll feel so good to have made it. It'll feel so wonderful. But yeah, this and the original Contra are the only 2 games that I've played so far in the series. I've got a bunch of the other ones. I did play a little bit of Operation C, but on the Game Boy, but I haven't played all the way through that one yet. So really, this and the original Contra are the only ones I've played. But I think I have every Contra game that was released up to the PlayStation. And I've got a few of the other ones. But I'd like to do them. I'd like to do them all. The only one I won't be able to do is the DS one. That one I for sure won't be able to do. Because I can't stream from a DS. And Contra Force, because I can't afford a $300 garbage game. Do you have the SNES and the Sega games? I do. I have those. I've actually had both. I've had the SNES Contra game for a very long time. The Genesis one I got last year. I found a copy of it at a reasonable price last year, and so I added it to my collection sort of while I could. But I haven't played either of them. Most of these, like all these games, I spent years collecting games and never playing them. So like I'm a tremendous poser in a way. I have all these games that I've never played. I'm finally accomplishing this on the stream. Better than Contra. I like Super C better than Contra. Probably only like Contra better because it gives you more lives with the Konami code, Pookie says. You can be more brained while playing Contra. How's the Contra DS game? I don't know. I've never played it. That one I haven't played, and I don't expect I will. All right. I think that I've caught up on the chat. Again, if you said something and I missed it, I'm sorry. I really don't like to, I'm not trying to ignore you. It's just sometimes it's hard to keep up. We're going to try for another run. We've been through the game once. We should be warmed up. If I die before the 4th level, I'm going to hit reset for our second run. If I make it past level 3, then I'm just going to complete the run even if we die. And I'm going to keep sliding that reset potential further back as we go. So we'll reset for any death before stage 4 on this run. And once we beat the game again, then we'll say, like, we'll reset, on any death before stage 6, maybe. And then that way we'll have to see the first half of the game a lot more. But we'll spend less time on dead runs. Because I really feel like, for the most part, I'm at the point where I'm all practiced up. It's just a matter of making it happen now. Not so much that I need to acquire practice. Derek says the DS Contra is great. Oh, I also think I have the WiiWare one. Contra Rebirth. I think I have that on the Wii. Oh, you said something about... understood. I died so many times playing Castle of Illusion Mickey Mouse. I don't think have I played Castle of Illusion? I don't think I've played that one. Is that similar to the Great Circus Mystery and Magical Quest? I really like Magical Quest. That's the Mickey Mouse game for me. I like that game quite a bit. Great Circus Mystery I don't like as much. I don't like the power-ups very much in that one. They kind of, I don't know. I don't find them very fun. Ah. Oh, Pookie, I'm gonna get to that later. That's a pretty big wall of text. I don't mind the occasional wall of text, but you know. There's some things I cannot do while the clock is running. Ever play some of the Contra light games such as Commando and Jackal? I haven't played either of those, Buddha Fingers. The most Contra-like game that I've played is probably Super Turrican. No, no worries. No worries about the long message. I've been known to leave long messages in people's chats myself. I love that extra life noise, even, you know, even when I'm not supposed to be using them. I love to hear that sound. You may notice that I get really, that I'm really cautious whenever there's one of those capsules on the screen. And that's because if I open a capsule, that counts as a death for me by my own arbitrary rule. And part of the no power-ups run is if I see a power-up, I fail. It doesn't make things that much harder, but it does make things inconvenient in places. And it's probably a silly rule, but I feel like it's in the spirit of the run, right? Because, you know, I could always spawn it and not collect it, but... I just feel better if we just sort of add that additional rule that I'm not even allowed to see a power-up. Made it to stage 4, by the way, so no resets for us. We'll slide that back to stage that roll back to stage 6 after this run. Though if we get stuck in a really long, like a sort of rut of hitting a lot of resets, without making it that far, then I may do a no reset run just to sort of a palate cleanser. I don't know. It'd be nice to not be doing this for so long that I have to be concerned about those kind of things. It'd be nice to just accomplish the run and be done. No. Sometimes I just think it's not meant to be, huh? Alright, so Pookie says, echoing those corrupting influences, if you can play stuff on original hardware, it's preferable, but you should not deprive yourself of experiences if and when you don't have the ability to do that. I think it's cool you get the Contra Collection. Got the Contra Collection. If there's other games that you want to play via emulation, I'd go for it. A quick disclaimer that it's not original hardware will suffice. I think most people would rather see you play games you want to than insist they're unavailable due to not being able to get them on real hardware. Yeah, so I agree with that, Pookie. I actually agree with that. There's some things though, like like the Contra DS and game, I just, you know, I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine to buy ports and re-releases and virtual console versions of games and stuff like that. Like I want to play Demon's Crest on the stream at some point. I want to do that game. Not gonna buy a physical copy of it. I'm gonna play it on the Nintendo Switch online. I'm perfectly happy with that, you know. But it's just in on the other hand, like there are some games that they haven't been re-released, they're not really available. My choices are to play them on emulation or to shell out a huge amount of money for a physical um, cartridge, and I usually refer to those as being, for those kind of things, as being, you know, just off limits or impossible, and they're not really, because yes, I could, and if I had a more powerful computer, would play them through emulation. But on the other hand, it's like I already have so many physical games that I've never played that it's better for me sometimes to think of games that I can only play through emulation as completely unavailable, because then I'm not distracted away from playing things that I own physically and should play, because what's the point of having it if I'm not going to use it? So that part of it is sort of a mental thing there. Just to, because if I open up too many possibilities, then I become, you know, I have a hard enough time deciding what to play only looking at my physical collection, that if I open it up to everything that's ever been made is equally viable, then it's just kind of overwhelming. But no, like, you know, like Contra Force, like I talk about that as being unplayable. One, I kind of don't want to play it because I know it's terrible. But yeah, if I were going to do it on the stream, we would have to do it through emulation. But it's, in some ways, it's just better to think of it as being unavailable. What about a ROM card? So yeah, if I could get a hold of like an EverDrive or something like that, yeah, I would be fine with that. And in fact, I actually want to get something like that eventually, but terrible games are what viewers crave. Is that true? I mean, believe me, there's no shortage of terrible games on the stream. No, I'm not... Just because I like physical collecting and stuff like that, I have nothing against emulation. I'm not into it mostly for practical reasons and for laziness reasons. Anyone who sat through Echo will sit through anything. I did not want another experience like that, Buddha Fingers. We all know that's a lie. I'm hunting for the next Echo. That's why I couldn't wait until January to do another jank month. Greg's Retro Channel. Welcome in, Greg. But yeah, my you know, my disinterest on in emulation is not an opposition to it. I think emulation is really good, especially because games are unreasonably expensive. I have a very sizable, you know, a pretty sizable retro game collection. Only because I started buying games so long ago. But like for a lot of this stuff, like emulation's really the only way to experience it. And so it's really good that that exists. I'm similar. I've cut back on physical collecting. Yeah, so, I mean, when it comes to physical collecting, like, that's the thing. I've got a real big collection, which makes it look like I buy games all the time. I don't. I mean, I kind of do, but the games I buy are cheap, garbage games. Like, we've been doing a marathon of Powerpuff Girls games, alright? That didn't break the bank. But no, if like I very seldomly buy like make a real purchase for my collection anymore. It's way too expensive. I mean, I still will pick up something nice every now and then, but it's very rare. I think I'm at 3 deaths. I'm so bad. I'm so bad at counting. Really appreciate emulation, but it doesn't feel the same. But yeah, that's the biggest thing for me when it comes to retro games. Is I like to play them on a CRT. So like I was saying before, like it'd be really nice to have a mister that could that had composite out. That's why I think like a ROM cart would be something really nice to have, because then I can use my physical hardware and play, you know, and play games on the TV that I like to play them on. Atari, E.T., and Echo 2, terrible games you have streamed that I'm aware of. Oh, two terrible games. Yeah, not Echo 2. Yeah, I've played. We've done both. Both of those were a grind, too. I was on both of those for a long time. If anything, I've traded a bunch of games for one rare one. Helps to trim down. I'd probably do that more if I had opportunities to like to go to like swap meets and stuff like that. But I don't have those kind of things like around me. I like the feeling of turning on the console and feeling the controller. Imagine if you collected something worthless like magic cards. My best friend in high school was a fiend for Magic cards. He had probably 20 or 30 shoeboxes full of them. It was wild. Ventilation, you can't really emulate that without going out of your way. Or Pez dispenser. It's something useless like Pez dispensers. Physical collections are very hard currently, so EverDrives are the way to go for me. Yeah. Just played Castle of Illusion Master System on an EverDrive, Strength for Life says. Virtual consoles and collections, like the 2 Castlevania collections for me, Greg says. Mostly only use emulation for my YouTube videos. Sorry, just reading everything. Oh, thank you for the hydrate, Jesse Thompson. Welcome to the stream. Pleasure to have you with us. We are trapped in the land of Super C once more. But spirits are high. The night is young. We got lots of opportunities to show these aliens who's boss. If we do, by some miracle, accomplish this run, you know, in a reasonable amount of time, we'll probably play something else tonight. I don't know what, but you know, the plan isn't to immediately end the stream if I can get this knocked out of the way. Greg says, used to be able to complete Contra and never played it past stage 2 in Super C. I hope you make it back to it at some point, because I love Super C. It is harder than Contra, though. I think Super C is the harder game. Just by a little bit. Contra's not easy. Not by a long shot. I just think Super C is a little tougher. It's gonna feel so easy though when I can use power-ups again. It's gonna feel so nice. All this living without power-ups, I feel like a man in the desert. And like the spread gun, that's my oasis. I can't wait to reach it. The final boss of Contra is a lot harder than the final boss of Super C. All those scorpions, they're a menace. Whoa. The furthest I've made it on one life was right there. I died just like I did just now. Which I don't think necessarily has to kill you. I think you are able to stand under that guy and shoot straight upward. But you can bet I'm never going to try it again on a live attempt. I learned my lesson. Fool me once and all that. I have a chance to pick up some games in an upcoming expo. Got a table to sell some games, to use as funds, to buy some good ones. Nice. Very nice. When I lived in Houston, there are a handful of retro game stores in Houston that I would frequent. And I would occasionally trade stuff into them. You don't get a very great deal trading things into a store like that, but it's convenient. You know, you pay for the convenience of not having to, list stuff online and mail it out and all that. So, I get it. But yeah, I used to do a bit of that when I lived there, but I kind of live away from everything now. In Wisconsin, I don't live near anything like that anymore. An oasis, good analogy. And by coincidence, I'm playing a game called Ever Oasis on 3DS. I've heard of that. I've heard that title. I don't really know anything about the game, but I've heard the title. Had a little bit of a tinnitus there in my ear for a moment. Alright, that's run 2. So now we're going to reset any run that dies before stage 6. So we'll probably be resetting on stage 4 a lot. Stage 4 is where I tend to die a lot. But we'll see the first half of the game a lot more, but we'll waste less time in the long run, I think. I'm not surprised. One of the more obscure games on 3DS came out in June 2017. That's very late in the 3DS's life. By then, most Nintendo fans had a Switch, and were playing Breath of the Wild, or the early Switch games. Deep breaths. It's a good idea to take a moment to prepare. The late release games become eBay games. I kind of regret in some ways. Before I left Houston, I pruned a lot of the garbage out of my collection. And if I had known, that I was going to be streaming and that I was going to be streaming so many garbage games, I would never have done that. That's actually not completely true. Most of what I pruned in actuality was for sports titles. Because I just don't play sports games. You know, more power to the people who like them, but they don't really do a whole lot for me unless they've got some wild, unrealistic twist to them. I love that approach. Walking up and confidently blasting away those three guys. Might try cooking food, wish me luck, Pookie says. Good luck. They're released late in the generation, and new console's already out. You know that game is gonna be expensive, yeah. I don't really sort of speculate on games. There's not a lot of stuff. I don't have a lot of games in my collection that I have just because they're rare and expensive. Like I have a few rare and expensive games, but I don't think any of them were bought for that purpose. for the most part, my games are things that I want to play and wanted to have access to, are the games that I came across that are for wildly cheap prices. I don't think there's anything wrong with, you know, buying games like that at all. It's just, like, that's why I don't have a lot of games that are complete. Because, like, the box really holds no value for me. It doesn't add anything to the game, so... Like, you know, boxed games have never been something that's particularly important to me. But, you know, some people like that. They want, you know... everything in their collection to be complete with the box and stuff, and if you got the money and that's what you want to do, that's fine. But I'm a lot more sort of Spartan in my approach to collecting. All that really matters to me is that it be the cartridge or the disc and be in working condition. The manual is nice. If I can have a manual, I like that. I feel like the manual can add to the game, especially if retro games. I kind of feel like the manual is part of the game, but since we live in a time where pretty much any video game manual can be found as a PDF online, not really concerned with having them. And this will really horrify you, you know, collectors. Mute the stream because you got to hear something that's gonna send an icicle through your heart. But I've actually thrown out game boxes before. There was a point in, like, 2011, 2012, I think. I sat down and I took my, I took all of my games that were on discs, and I put them into a binder, and I threw the boxes out. I threw the cases out. I saved the manual and the insert from all of them. Because I thought, well, I can reconstruct. You know, I can get a blank case someday. So I'll keep the insert and the manual in case I ever feel like reconstructing them, and I never did. And I don't think I have the inserts anymore. I saved all the manuals because, like I said, a manual can be useful and practical, but I don't think I think the inserts. I don't know that if I threw them out. I probably did, or if I just lost them. There was a span though. There was a span where I moved 10 times in a space of like 12 years. I went from Kentucky to Tennessee to Korea to Tennessee to Texas, and I had 4 different apartments in Texas. Like, when you move that much, you have to make sacrifices. And I thought, you know what? It's going to be a lot easier to move all these games around. if I don't have all the empty space that these cases are mostly filled with, taking up room. You monster, how could you? Yeah, I know. I know, I'm a monster. Why'd you move that much? A lot of different reasons. Mostly, changing jobs and... You know, it's all sort of the period of time where, like, I got out of college, so I had to move, you know, from my dorm to an apartment, and then I moved states for work, and then I moved to a different country for work, and I moved back home because I was tired of being in a different country. And then, yeah, just either I would change jobs or Jelly would change jobs, and in Houston, we changed apartments once because the pipes burst in our previous apartment, so we didn't want to be there anymore. And then we moved again because one of our apartments got burglarized, and we didn't want to live there anymore after that, so... Lots of different reasons. Thought maybe you're on the run. Well, I can't very well admit to that on the stream now, can I? I never had any problems when I lived there, Stat Cat. I never, no one ever treated me poorly when I lived there. I definitely heard of it happening to my coworkers. So there were some issues for some of my coworkers, but I never had any problems living in Korea. The fitness protection program. I'm kind of a rather large guy though. Also, and most of the time when I was living overseas, like, I had a giant beard and a shaved head and a black leather jacket that I wore everywhere, and so, like, I didn't look like a figure that most people wanted to mess with. So it's very unlikely that anyone would have been inclined to mistreat me. I couldn't run through the, between the bullets like I like to do. I don't know how I avoided opening up those capsules, but I sure am glad I did. Got a little messy there for a moment. Very messy there. Now what am I even doing? Have I really not lost a life? Because I sure have. I sure have been behaving in an indefensible manner. I've got some sausages waiting for me after the stream. I'm looking forward to. I grilled sausages for dinner, and I've got some leftovers. I made too many. I mean, that was by design, of course. The plan was always to have too many, and I'm excited to have some more sausages after the stream. Spider's a good boss. Having a lot of close calls. I know it would make these challenge runs a lot easier if I did research and studied, you know, like if I watched speed runs and learned speed run strats, I'd be able to do these challenges a lot easier, and I intentionally don't do that. I like for these challenges to be completed only with casual strats, but I just thought I'd mention that I am aware that I could. There are ways I could make this easier on myself, but that it just takes something away from it for me. I'm kind of at the point, though, with the original Contra that really the only way to take the game any further would be to learn the speed run. Since I've really kind of met all my goals with that one. This is bad. I messed that up. Okay. Didn't suffer for it though. One thing I've really got to do, though, I've got to memorize the locations of the bubbles in this level. I should have done that a long time ago, and I very much pay the price for not memorizing where all the bubbles are. One here, one on the left, two in the middle, one on each side. So, middle, left, double middle, each side. Right-hand side, middle. Never going to be able to remember this after just the one pass, but... Okay. 4 to the right. 4 in the middle, and then middle and sides. Ah! I almost made it through. The very last bubble got me. So, single middle, single left, double middle, one to each side. I don't really remember after that. Last 2 are 4 to the right. Last 3 are 4 to the right, 4 in the middle, and then double middle on the sides. Someone should make a ROM hack of Super C that takes out all the enemies. Call it Super C WFH edition. I don't get the acronym. Somebody's still up, so I just put together a burger from what I had in the mini fridge. Work from home. I don't know that I get it. Okay. That's what I see. I wasn't sure if you were saying like the enemies were working from home, or that like just most jobs and easier, or most jobs in general are easier to do if you work from home, or I just didn't follow. See, a game's got to be really good, right? If you can play it this much and fail this many times and still not hate it. I always want to get that helicopter before it flies off the screen, and I always think it's not going to happen. You certainly like this much more than the machine. And how? Yeah, if I never play Echo again, it'll be too soon. What are some jank games you've played? All right, so Echo the Dolphin. I've played just about every ET game that exists on console. There's like 5 or 6 of them. Superman 64. We played Shaq Fu. I haven't finished that one yet, though. We only played that once. Currently, I'm playing the Powerpuff Girls games on the Game Boy. So those are some of the things that we've done. That shouldn't have happened. I should not have stood up into that. Superman 64 I technically didn't finish either. I finished it on normal mode, but you can't really beat the game on normal mode. I discovered to my horror when I reached the end of the game, and it said, now starting in on hard difficulty to play the last level. And I was very upset. We played Castlevania 64. A lot of people would say that's a jank game. Castlevania 64 is one of my all-time favorites, though. I'm looking forward. We're going to do another playthrough of Castlevania 64. I know we've done it a lot on the stream already, but I'm going to play it on hard mode for the first time. Sometime. You know, not coming up immediately, but in a couple weeks or a couple months. Heard Silver Surfer can be addictive. Mission Impossible, oh yeah. Oh yeah, Mission Impossible was some really, like, that was some weapons grade jank too. What an awful time that was. Hercules was fun. Yeah, Hercules was good. We're going to play that again, too. I need to restart that. Hercules on the N64. That game, I mean, it's, you know, it's kind of janky and stuff, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I was playing that on the stream. My memory card, I lost my memory card. And I lost, that was one of the games I was playing when my memory card went bad. So I've got to restart it, and that's why we haven't picked it up, because I was like 4 or 5 hours in. But yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that again. That's fun. We played one of the Chester Cheetah games, too. Wild Wild Quest. I didn't make it very far in that game. That game's pretty bad. The thing about that game is it's really hard. It's not just really bad, but it's really, really difficult. So, I don't know. I like to, like, you know, we play jank and, like, trash games on the stream, and, like, I like to really play them. Like, I know a lot of people, like, do things where, like, they sample terrible games, or they, like, you know, they'll do a thing where they play a whole bunch of them for just a couple minutes apiece, and I don't like that. I like to sink my teeth in and spend a couple hours with a game, even if it's miserable. And more often than not, we end up beating them too. Eventually. Have you played Sneak King? We did. We actually did. Played it, well, for one session, so I haven't put a lot of time into it. I want to go back to that one, too. Things on the Xbox are at a disadvantage for me because my Xbox is kind of temperamental. And that kind of disincentivizes me from playing stuff on it. But it would be fun. It would be fun to do more Sneak King. I actually have their... I think there are only 3. I've got 3 of those, like, Burger King games. The other 2, I think, are racing games, though. But yeah, we put a couple hours into Sneak King, and we'll definitely pick it up again at some point. Burger was good, fully decked out with cheese and bacon, pickles, tomatoes, and lettuce. Pre-cooked and not warmed up, but it was good for what it was. I think one of them is like, one of them you race on mini bikes, and I think one of them is bumper cars. So it might not be racing, but more like, kind of like a Mario Kart sort of battle type situation, maybe? I don't know. I'm going to need to develop some terminology for describing where these bubbles are easily. We've got middle, left, double middle, corners. I don't remember what's after that. Middle, I know it's kind of offset, but left, double middle, corners. Okay, wide middle. Right middle. Wide middle, right middle. All right. Yeah, 4 right. Middle, and corners. Did I really not die? I'm trying to commit that to memory, but memorizing that and staying focused on the game at the same time is not easy. It's going to be a lot easier to memorize with some, if I consistently use the same terminology. Yeah, there's definitely 3 of those Burger King games. At least there could be more, but I think there's only 3. I've had a lot of bad luck with these boulders, I feel like, in recent runs. This is the hardest boss in the game. There's other stuff that's harder than this boss, but so far as bosses are concerned, this is the hardest boss. I say this is the hardest boss across Contra and Super C. I think this boss is harder than anything in Contra, but the stage 4 boss in Contra is really tough. Thanks for the stretch break, Buddha Fingers. You gotta wait till the end of the run for that. I don't think I've died yet, so I'm probably gonna die here, but we'll see. We made it to stage 6, so no resets. The odds of making it through stage 6 without a death are really low, though. All because of these mouths. Okay, really good. Really good on the mouths. This part's pretty miserable too, though. Nice. That part's a lot easier than it seems. But it's still nerve-wracking. I wish I had a paper towel to wipe off my hands. I haven't hit this enemy a single time. That scorpion almost got me. That was a nasty one. These scorpions are so terrible. I was so slow to learn how to deal with those scorpions, and they still give me trouble, but it's just amazing. Like, have you seen like how much time I've spent on this game, and like it must drive people crazy how much of a slow learner I am. Because it's literally taking me hundreds of playthroughs to figure out how to get past those scorpions semi-reliably. I'm a very slow learner. Can't make it halfway on the first level in Contra. Well, it's not. There is no natural talent here. It is all a matter of of practice. I'm in no way skilled at naturally skilled. I've just played these games an unreasonable amount of hours. I can't get rid of this bubble. Okay, please don't die the same way you did before, Frownie. We got a new PB. I've never been this far before on One Life. That was too many of those guys. Thought I was going to land on that enemy. Come on, hallway, be good to me. Don't trip at the finish line. I need the Kaminami code to get anywhere, Pookie says. Hey, practice with the code, and you do it enough times, you can do it without. Victory, it's over. Unless I died and didn't notice it, it's over. Oh, thank goodness. Oh. Oh, I really hope I didn't die and not notice it. Oh, you guys would have told me if I died, right? I'm always so worried about that. I'm always so worried because in the game like this where you respawn so quickly, it's completely possible that I could be distracted for a minute and die and respawn and not notice that I died. So I'm always worried about that. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to watch it back and hopefully it's good. I think we made it. Thank you for the GGs and the celebratory emotes. It's just when I do one of these challenges at the end, like I just oh my goodness, it's just relief. What I feel is relief. It's just like I seriously, like, all like the muscles in my body are so tense. It's like I just put down a huge burden. Like they're not tense now. Now they're, you know, like, but like it's the tension. Oh, you get it. I can't talk. Oh, it shut down my brain. Oh, we did it. Thank you, my friends. Thank you for sticking with me for so many years so I could finally finish this challenge. Oh, I've been working. This is the challenge run that I've worked the longest on, actually. If just on the calendar, because I know I started it, I think in February, but I didn't do it every day, and I didn't even do it every week. I just did it a few times every now and then, but the first time I attempted it was back in February, I think. So that's a long time to not complete a challenge. Oh, thank you for the GG, Strength for Life. Thank you. All right. Oh, that's great. That's great. Let's do a victory lap. What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to play level 1, and I'm going to get a run through just level 1 where I collect all the power-ups, because that's the next challenge, is 100%. I have to get every power-up on a run. And so just for our victory lap, just for fun, we're going to play through, and we're going to do that, and then we'll see about playing something else for a little while. Guess I can kill my timer now. Oh, we did it. We did it, my friends. What a relief. What a tremendous relief. It's going to feel so weird. It's so weird. I've got a power up. So in theory, this is going to be a much easier run. That's why I wanted to do it before. That's why I wanted to finish I wanted to finish the low percent before we did the 100%, because I expect the 100% to be so much easier. But as Contra taught us, there definitely can be some challenges. But I think this is going to be easier than Contra to get the run on, because it doesn't have any of those behind the back stages. The 100% run was really difficult in the first Contra because of all the behind the back stages. Oh, Spread Gun, my old friend. Oh, how I've missed you. I have a good idea of where all the power-ups are because I've had to avoid them for so long. Like, I can't necessarily accurately predict where everyone's going to come in, but... If you die with a power-up, do you have to restart? Well, I will have to. You wanted to just keep going for a little while? I know I said stage 1, but since we're still alive, let's just see how far we get. What if I get it in one try? Wouldn't that be amazing? I don't believe that will happen, but wouldn't that be amazing? I'd be upset that my timer's not running, but I wouldn't be that upset. Let's just see how far we get. But yeah, the idea is to do it again in one life, but just this time I have to get all the power-ups. I wouldn't necessarily have to reset on like my practice runs for a while because it's a new run to me, but ugh, laser. Yuck. I think the power-ups also, they despawn in this. I don't think they despawn in Contra. Alright, this is going to be hard. There's a power-up up here, but getting it with a laser might be a little tricky. The laser's weird. I'm not used to it. You have to tap in a much different rhythm with the laser. The mouth part is still a thing, so it won't be a cakewalk due to wonderful RNG. You're right, Pookie. Yeah, stage 6, the mouths in stage 6 are going to be our major problem, as always. We're doing pretty good for our first attempt at this run, though. Stage 3, not bad. I know a lot of power-ups fly through here at the start. Ooh. And they're tough to get with the laser because it's so slow. Okay, I feel much better about the machine gun. Okay, same strategy. Same overly cautious, terrified strategy. Okay, another power-up coming through. Where are you? Oh, it's the laser again. I just relieved myself of this burden. The worst thing is if I miss a power-up, I lose the run. I don't know where all the power-ups are. Feel like I'm really likely to miss one up ahead right after the spider. I've never fought the spider with a laser, that's for sure. I've never really used the laser at all in Super C. Oh, I can't believe we got the run. Oh, I forgot. I almost didn't pick that up. I was so used to not picking up power-ups. You see what almost happened to me there? Oh, this is going to be terrible. Both of those coming in. Ooh. Spread gun. Don't mind if I do. That happens so many times in a Contra. When I was going for the deathless, I'd be doing fine, like so far as not dying, but then I would lose a power up. Hey, I'm probably going to miss a power-up on this level. In the vertical section, there's a couple parts where two of them come in at once. And I'm not really used to, I'm not used to getting them. This game's so much more fun with power-ups. Don't do a no items run. Don't be like Frownie. Agent Frownie does not know how to have fun. Get the R. Okay, there's more power-ups coming up here. Oh, not yet. At the next set of turrets, there are more power-ups. I think one of them might be a spread gun. Ooh, that was close. Yes! No, it's a laser! I'm gonna die here. No. Oh, I didn't. Oh, I really thought I would. That's half the game. Half the game on the first try. I'm pretty happy with that. Get out of my way, I need that M. I'm dead. Alright, well that's how far we got. Stage 5. Not too bad. So that's Super C. So now I don't really have anything else planned, my friends. I want to do something else, but I'm not sure what. What have we been working on that we haven't finished? Perhaps. It'd be nice to do something a little more fun and a little less stressful. I'm just taking a look through our past streams and just kind of seeing what we've done that we haven't finished up yet that I might want to pick up. We've got Crystallis that we're working on. And that game's a lot of fun, so that's an option. We could get the Atari out and play some more 2600 games. I still haven't beaten Moon Patrol, so that's a possibility as well. to try and actually beat that game. I'm somewhat open to suggestions if someone has something on their mind. I think either way though, I think I'll take a short BRB, and when I come back from that, then we'll decide what to do next. But yeah, thank you for enjoying Super C with me, my friends. The challenge run, I'm very happy to have it behind us. That's been really tough. The all powers, I think is going to be a lot better. It's going to go a lot more smoothly. We'll work on it probably next week. We'll fire it up a few times. But yeah, we made it halfway through already. Maybe that was a fluke. Maybe I just got really ridiculously lucky out of the gate. I don't know. We'll see. But we'll try for it. We'll start making real attempts for it next week, and hopefully we'll be able to take care of that. But for now, yeah, I'm gonna take a short BRB, and if you have a suggestion for what you might want to do next, I'll take it into consideration if you want to let me know while I'm gone. What I'm leaning toward right now is either picking up Chrysalis or picking up the 2600. Both of those are appealing to me at the moment. So if you have a preference, let it be known. But yeah, thank you. And if you want to hang around, I'll see you again in just a few minutes.